Greg Scarpa Sr., was born on May 8, 1928 near Venice, Italy, and immigrated to the United States with his parents and his brother at a young age. The 1950s were a busy time for Scarpa. He married Connie Forrest and had 4 children, maintained a relationship with a girlfriend having 2 more children, and was introduced to the Colombo crime family by his brother Salvatore. Scarpa was a successful gangster from the very beginning, and it wasn't long before he became heavily involved in illegal activities. As a gangster, he wore stylish clothes and carried large amounts of cash in his pocket for purchases and bribery. He owned apartments and homes in Manhattan, Florida, Brooklyn, and Las Vegas. As his power grew, his reputation for violence and murder grew as well, eventually earning him the nickname the Grim Reaper. In March 1962, law enforcement arrested Scarpa for armed robbery. If convicted, he would serve a lengthy prison sentence which would certainly cripple his growing empire. As a high-ranking member in the Colombo family, the FBI provided Scarpa with a chance of freedom, provided he was willing to give information to them from time to time regarding organized crime. He accepted, and became an informant for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, a relationship that would last 30 years. In the summer of 1964, 3 Mississippi civil rights workers were reported missing, and suspected of being murdered by the Ku Klux Klan. According to sources, the FBI was having trouble finding their graves and recruited Scarpa to help locate them. At the time, Scarpa was widely known as an aggressive mafioso and a formidable interrogator. The FBI used Scarpa, and his skills, to kidnap a TV salesman and a known Klansman, who is suspected of having information on the 3 workers. Scarpa and FBI agents allegedly took the man to Camp Shelby, a local army base, where they severely beat him, until he revealed the location of the civil rights workers' graves. Scarpa was eventually dropped as a confidential informant by the FBI in January 1966, but their relationship was renewed when FBI agents approached Scarpa and convinced him to cooperate again. FBI agent DeVecchio and Scarpa had a tight relationship that some say involved numerous illegal dealings of cash and jewelry. In return, DeVecchio provided Scarpa with information about his enemies during the Third Colombo War and likely saved his life in the process. The two worked together for over 10 years, often meeting alone in apartments or hotels provided by the FBI, where they would exchange information. Scarpa was arrested in 1985 and charged with running a major credit card scam. He pled guilty and was awaiting sentence when DeVecchio submitted a memo to the judge that listed all of Scarpa's contributions to the FBI. Scarpa was eventually sentenced to 5 years probation with no prison time and a $10,000 fine. He may have gotten off lightly, however, some of the Colombo soldiers were surprised at the leniency of the court and suspected Scarpa might have a relationship with the government. In 1991, the Colombo family was involved in a power struggle within the group. Then, on November 18, 1991, hitmen converged on Scarpa's vehicle with guns drawn, but Scarpa managed to drive away before any shots were fired. Scarpa was infuriated at the attempt on his life, and over the next several months traveled through Brooklyn looking for his enemies in social clubs and bars. In 1992, Scarpa, who is in poor health after contracting AIDS from tainted blood, was arrested for violating state firearms laws and indicted on federal racketeering charges involving 3 murders. He was placed under house arrest awaiting trial. On December 29, 1992, Lucchese crime family gangsters Michael DeRosa and Ronald Moran threatened Scarpa's stepson, Joey, over a drug deal. Although he was in poor health, Scarpa climbed out of bed and drove with Joey to DeRosa's house to confront the 2 men. Fearing for their lives, gunfire erupted and DeRosa was shot twice in the chest and Scarpa was shot once in the eye. After arriving at the hospital, prosecutors revoked Scarpa's house arrest and sent him to jail. On May 6, 1993, Scarpa pled guilty to 3 murders and conspiracy to commit murder. In frail health and blind in one eye, he was sentenced to life in prison on December 15, 1993, but the sentence was reduced to 10 years due to his poor health. He died on June 4, 1994, in the Federal Medical Center for Prisoners in Rochester, Minnesota.